Hello, I'm Cheyenne.
And I'm Frankie.
And this is Conbini Cult. Woo! Welcome to this week's episode. How are you doing, Frankie?
I'm pretty good.
You're good?
I'm very relaxed today.
Yeah? Why are you so relaxed?
I've been home most of the week.
Yeah,
So
that's good.
I'm chilling.
Especially because being chillin', sorry. Do you know what I'm referencing? Yeah. Okay, good. Good. The few times you do. All right. But yeah, you've had like a really busy January, end of the year. So it sounds like you're spending a lot more time at home these days. I'm glad you're feeling relaxed. We're in the mood. Well, throw away that entire mood because now we're going to talk about something crazy.
I'm going to be scared.
Yeah, but before we get into today's topic, any life updates? How's it been going so far? Any good news?
This one is not really my personal life update, but just some good news, something that happened recently in Japan.
Yeah.
So now emergency contraception will be available at drugstores. Well, by the time this is posted, it's already from February 2nd.
Okay.
It became available
in
drugstores because before you used to have to go to the doctor and get a prescription for it.
Yeah. Have you ever... You don't have to talk about it. I'm just going to ask. No?
Mm-mm.
Okay. I have. Can I talk about it?
Oh, sure.
All right. So I do have experience getting Plan B here in Japan. It's called the afterpill in Japanese, actually. Okay. So the after pill. And yeah, before this became legal, to buy it over the counter, this was a few years ago. I did go to the doctor, like Frankie mentioned, and it just was very secretive almost.
Oh.
Like it was like you had to go meet with the doctor personally, and then they ask you, some questions, and then they sit there and watch you take the pill. Like, while you're just sitting there in the examination room with them. And also, the whole point of Plan B is for it to be a Plan B. Like if you mess, not if you mess up, but, if you have unprotected sex or if anything, goes wrong and you feel like you need that reassurance, it's supposed to be available to you right away, right? It's like the whole concept
within
of it.
Within 72 hours.
Yeah, within 72 hours is when it's the most effective, at least. But here in Japan, when I got it, it was like you had to make a doctor's appointment and then you had to see what times they were available, because some clinics maybe they are only open certain hours for that specific service,
Oh.
And I feel like that is a big thing if you live in the inaka or somewhere outside of Tokyo.
Yeah, or what if it's a holiday weekend?
Yeah, exactly. And so there's not real urgency around it, and so it just seems a lot scarier if you are trying to get the afterpill, the Plan B pill. So seeing this news was very, good, like reassuring. I was happy for anyone out there who needs it.
But there's a catch,
which
I will explain.
Okay, of course
it's not
there
as
is.
simple as it sounds.
Yeah, of course not.
According to the Asahi Shimbun, one tablet will be 7,480 yen.
Cheap, by the way.
Around $48.
Yeah, very, very cheap.
How much is it in the US? It's about the same, isn't it? Like $50?
Yeah, it's something over the counter too. I felt like you could get it at Walgreens or something. Like affordable, so it's not, I think that's, again, the whole point of it is so people have access to it. But I think when I had this experience in Japan, it was like 1,000,000 yen. Like almost 10,000 yen or something. It was a lot more expensive than this 7,400 yen price. So that's good. It got a little cheaper. But sorry, what was the catch?
The intended user has to get it themselves in person and fill out a checklist to confirm they're actually the person taking it. And if it is within 72 hours of intercourse, a pharmacist will provide an explanation, and then the user has to take the pill in front of the pharmacist. It cannot be taken home. There are no age restrictions and no consent is needed from a partner or guardian.
Okay. You had me at there's a catch, and like no one wants to be in that vulnerable position taking it in front of a pharmacist. But the fact that there's no age restriction and you don't need consent from a parent or anything, I feel like that's already such a huge weight lifted off of people who are, interested in need of taking Plan B. So
yeah. But the pharmacist is not, just because the drugstore is open doesn't mean the pharmacist is there.
That's so true, actually. Yeah.
That is kind of, that's part of the catch, I think.
Yes.
Because, I don't have experience taking this particular pill, but there was one time I was out in the Inaka for the weekend and I had a headache. I didn't have my medicine on me. So I went to the drugstore to pick up like Bufferin or something.
Okay.
And the person at the register was like, I can't sell it to you because the pharmacist isn't here.
Bufferin? That's like just headache medicine, but okay.
Yeah. So I had to wait until the next day.
Your headache might be gone by then, hopefully, but it sucks if it's like lingering the whole time. Yeah. Oh no.
I just had to suffer for the night. Because it was like a Saturday evening or something. And they're like, oh no, the pharmacist is not here. Or Sunday evening.
That is really unfortunate. And just like thinking about different scenarios, one of the downsides of having to, take the pill in front of the pharmacist, I'm not saying it's normal to stock up on Plan B, but for example, in the US, if you were to just buy it over the counter, you can take it home, right? And so you have the privacy of your home, your own home to take it, or you can just keep it, change your mind, or you can just have it in your medicine cabinet in your bathroom or whatever, just in case one of those things happen, so it's very like high pressure. It's very, I don't know, like decisive, I guess, when you go and get that in Japan. But again, it's better than going to the hospital or to a clinic.
Yeah, it's progress.
Like before. It is progress. Yeah. Good news. We love to see it. Yeah.
Anything going on with you?
These days, nothing crazy. I had a big news announcement in one of our other episodes we recorded today. Just a recap of that. Do you want me to
might come out after
this,
It
might come after? Okay. When should I mention it?
Recap it then.
Okay. Well, I have a recap because I'm not sure when we're going to publish the episode. Yeah. But my big news as of recently is that I am moving away from Osaka next month in March. Woo, boo, boo, hoo, woo. Yeah. It's a very bittersweet news. I've seen the area where we're going to move to, and I'm stoked. I mean, I've lived in the Inaka before, so I'm not, terrified to be out in the middle of nowhere. It's a nice beachy area too. And I'll be amongst all the scarecrows of, what is it, Nagoro Village?
Scarecrow Village.
In Tokushima. No, I'm not moving all the way up there. It's like nightmare fuel. But no, I'm going to be over on that side as of next month. Like I said, stoked trying somewhere new. It's a lot, cheaper than Osaka. So I think we'll just have like bigger space. Which I'm excited for. Yeah, so I'm like excited to just try living somewhere new with my new family member, my baby, and giving her more space to have at home and all of that. But I am very sad to leave Frankie and all of the wonderful people and friends I've made here in Osaka, but it's not like...
It's not far.
An awful distance, yeah.
2 or 3 hours.
Exactly. So it's not like I'm moving to Tohoku or like Hokkaido or Okinawa. I low-key wish I was moving to Okinawa, but it's not like far away is the...
You could someday.
The gist, yeah. So that's kind of like my most recent news. And on top of that, I'm just going through all the paperwork stuff of getting a spouse visa here in Japan. I think we've talked about the procedures for that way back in an episode, maybe. I'm starting to lose track of like what we talk about, to be honest.
I think we've talked about visas, but maybe not the spouse visa specifically.
Yeah.
It's a good one to be on once you go through the tedious
hurdles,
paperwork of applying. Yeah, I mean, because there's no work restrictions or anything.
That's kind of like what I want to try do it for, is just to be able to work in any kind of industry if I choose, or maybe not work at all. That would be wonderful too. But I didn't know. I was kind of reading up because I'm also 2 years away from being eligible for PR, permanent residency in Japan.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of reading up, like, is it worth it? Like, because it's such a long process and a lot of people can get denied or whatever. So I kind of did some Reddit searching of, is it worth it? Like, what are the main benefits of it? And one thing that really stuck out to me, I didn't know, is like, if you're on the spouse visa, but your spouse dies, your visa expires basically the day they die.
Yeah, it's the same thing as divorce. You get 6 months
and
to figure it out.
And I mean, I don't want to think about that, but you have to kind of like think about these things now, especially now that I have a kid. And so in my mind, I'm like, what if the worst thing happens and my spouse dies and then I just have no legal way to stay in Japan because of that? So that was kind of my push point, to be, work for PR, but in the meantime, get that spouse visa or something. So yeah, I'm kind of just going through that and going to the making a lot of visits to City Hall recently because there's a lot of things you have to do when you move in and out of places in Japan. So a lot of my life these days is just consumed around clerical work.
But you should do the change of visa status in Tokushima because there's less people there.
Less people? Oh,
It's
that's
gonna be
kind of
much
smart. Maybe
easier.
I'll just wait until I go there then.
Yeah.
You're right. I shouldn't jump the gun
faster.
yet. Very true. Because they should have an immigrant office there. It's not like
Oh yeah, they do in
every
all
prefecture,
areas,
right? Because what is it where it's like only Tokyo, Osaka, and Fukuoka, I think, is the U.S. consulate. I think, some people, if you live outside of those areas, you have to go to one of those just to do anything embassy specific.
Yeah.
So thankfully,
we're lucky in that sense.
Yeah, so we're very lucky in that sense. But thankfully, immigration is not like that. So that's kind of like what I was worried about.
I think
but I guess
every
not.
prefecture should have their own
Immigration office, right?
Yeah. But some of them depends, because I know, for example, the Shiga office, they also allow Kyoto residents to use their office, but they don't let Osaka. I tried.
Okay.
They were like, excuse me,
yeah.
you live in Osaka. You can't.
You're like, you have a big
can't be
enough
here?
space, yeah. Sounds very Kyoto boy. No, I'm just kidding. But I see.
Yeah.
But I hope it all goes smoothly. Send good vibes my way because I know you just moved. It's not fun to pack and unpack, and
I'm still unpacking.
yeah, and I have to do all that soon. And within like 4 weeks.
few weeks,
yeah.
yeah.
So I'm a little stressed, but other than that, I'm having a good time.
I can offer you good vibes and moral support.
Thank you.
I don't know about physical.
Gonna come over and help me pack. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Well, it's easier to do it for someone else. When it's your
Really?
own stuff, you're like,
I don't want to do this.
no.
And I have so much baby stuff to go through too. And so a lot of it is just emotionally tied to me. And now I'm thinking, what if I have another baby? I can't throw this away. I don't know. It's all in my head, but I'll figure it out when I get there. But anyway, moving on to today's topic.
Okay.
As
a scary one.
A scary topic. Me, a parent. No, not regular parents, but today's topic is called monster parents of Japan. So have you ever heard of this term, monster parent, before?
No, I have heard of maybe like tiger parents,
Yeah, is that similar?
but that's not really like bullying teachers or anything.
No, I've heard of a tiger mom, and I feel like there's some racial,
yeah.
stereotypes around that one. So
Yeah,
they're
that
not
makes
quite
sense.
the same. A monster parent or monster parento in a Japanese case is just kind of like a helicopter parent to the extreme of where they start to, like you said, bully teachers or constantly contact the school about things that involve their children, usually about, why aren't you teaching this better? Or why isn't my child a part of this club? Or it's all about their children, right? And so we're going to get into that topic. And the reason I chose that topic is because, surprise, surprise, I was watching TV. I was watching a movie on Netflix called decchiage. And that is kind of one of our words of the day. We have monster parents and decchiage. And I'm bringing back the word of the day for the episode because I'm going to be saying those two words a lot.
Okay.
But I also had Frankie watch the movie.
Yep, that was my homework.
Yes, it was your homework.
Completed.
You did good. Good job. A is your grade. But decchiage means a fabrication. And so we're going to get into the plot of the movie and how it ties into a real life case of monster parents that happened here in Japan.
Yeah.
But before we get into that, I have a little disclaimer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Go for it.
It's very short, but basically we're not saying that all cases of abuse and, these monster parents only exist in Japan. Obviously, there are monster parents in every country, I'm sure. Parents, like, as a parent myself now, you would do anything for your children, but these are like really extreme
Over the
cases
top,
that I'm talking about. There's also bad teachers in every country. We did a bad teachers episode, actually. So
go back and listen to that if you haven't.
So, by the end of this episode, I don't want to see any comments that are like, but parents in the US are way worse than Japanese parents or whatever. We're not here to compare the two. It's just an interesting case that I found and wanted to talk about.
All right.
Alrighty.
Let's get into it.
Sounds good. Would you like to explain the overall plot of the movie?
The film, Decchiage, The Man Called Murderous Teacher, is based on the true story of the same titled reportage by Masumi Fukuda, which dives into the truth behind a case of teacher bullying. that occurred in Fukuoka in 2003.
Okay, so to get into this case, the Fukuoka City teacher bullying incident, or Fukuoka-shi kyoshi ni yoru ijime jiken, refers to an event in 2003 where a male teacher at a municipal elementary school in Fukuoka City was disciplined for allegedly engaging in racially discriminatory bullying against a child said to have American ancestry, even though the fact was never confirmed. However, after a court trial, the disciplinary action was revoked because the bullying itself was not substantiated. And the Fukuoka City Board of Education became the first BOE ever nationwide to acknowledge bullying by a teacher. So I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
And imposed disciplinary action on the teacher, drawing significant media attention. The media's approach of sensationality, reporting only the child's parents' claims without verification, was also questioned. And then in 2013, the Fukuoka City Personnel Board revoked the teacher's disciplinary action, stating that the facts of bullying just couldn't be established. All right, so
10 years.
Yeah, I know. It's a long time. But to get into a little timeline of it all.
Okay, so in June 2003, the Asahi Shimbun published an article headlined, "Elementary School Teacher Bullied Fourth Grader." It reported that a male homeroom teacher was engaging in racially motivated bullying against a child whose maternal great-grandfather was American. In August of the same year, the Fukuoka City Board of Education imposed a disciplinary suspension of 6 months on the teacher. Furthermore, in October of that year, Weekly Bunshun reported on the incident under the headline, "The Murder Teacher, Satsujin Kyoshi, who threatened his pupil. Shall I teach you how to die? Shinikata oshiete yarou ka?" It reported the teacher's real name, detailing the alleged bullying as follows.
During a home visit, upon learning the child's great-grandfather was American, the teacher made racist remarks such as, "Your blood is impure." Then, the next day and thereafter, while the children were preparing to leave, the teacher ordered them to finish getting ready within the time it took him to count to 10. So it's called, in the Japanese report, like the 10 counto. If they failed, he subjected them to corporal punishment, forcing them to choose from punishments like Mickey Mouse, he called, which was grabbing both ears and lifting them, or Pinocchio, which was pinching their nose and shaking it around. And this resulted in injuries to the child, including a cut on his ear. Furthermore, the teacher made statements to the child such as, "You have no value in living, so die." Due to these abusive acts by the teacher, the child was diagnosed with PTSD.
This case is considered the first instance nationwide where an education board officially recognized bullying by a teacher. Following the above report in Weekly Bunshun, national network talk shows also engaged in heated coverage of the incident. The teacher, while initially admitted to the bullying, later denied having committed the reported corporal punishment or bullying. He began appealing to the media, asserting his innocence.
On October 8th, 2003, the child and his parents formed a legal team of over 500 lawyers.
That's nuts.
I know. Like, this was also in the movie, so we're pulling from the real incident, those facts, but the movie followed the actual case.
Yeah,
very
but not
accurately.
500 lawyers.
I think so, actually.
Really?
Yeah, it was in the movie.
Okay.
Because I remember seeing that and be like, what?
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, so I think these parents had money. Yeah. Sorry, but they had a legal team of over 500 lawyers and filed a civil lawsuit against Fukuoka City and the teacher personally. However, during the lawsuit, it was revealed that the plaintiff's initial claim that the child's great-grandfather was American was false. Furthermore, the defendants fiercely contested the facts, pointing out that the child's medical records, which had been disclosed, showed no evidence of PTSD symptoms. Ultimately, the 2008 Fukuoka High Court ruling largely rejected the plaintiff's claims, and it was only ordered the city to pay the child 3.3 million yen.
Like $30,000 ish.
Maybe even less at the time, right? 2008 or 2003, yeah.
Subsequently, the Fukuoka City Personnel Commission, which had been reviewing the teacher's appeal, examined the disciplinary actions taken by the City Board of Education. In January 2013, it ruled that the facts of bullying by the teacher were not established and revoked all disciplinary actions.
Yeah, like we mentioned earlier. So all of this was kind of brought to light in a book published by Masumi Fukuda. And the title
Is she a journalist?
Yeah, I think so. And the title of her book is, the English title translated, is Fabrication, The Truth Behind the Fukuoka Murderous Teacher Case. So she's a nonfiction writer, and she investigated this case, of course. And much of what was publicly portrayed as malicious abuse, including threats and racial motivation, were questioned, and they lacked solid proof once the case was examined more critically.
Fukuda portrays the incident as an example of how institutional pressure, media overreach, and emotional narratives can overwhelm nuanced evaluation of evidence.
Her investigation includes interviews, court records, and analysis of how the story spread and influenced public perception.
The book won the 6th Shincho Document Award for its investigative work.
Yeah, so it was a really big book at the time. Although it did receive some criticisms. For example, some commentators argue that her work leans a little too much toward defending the teacher and doesn't adequately acknowledge all of the evidence of misconduct. Yeah.
Others see it as a cautionary examination of media influence and witch hunt dynamics in high emotion cases.
Yeah, I want to go back to like kind of leaning too much towards defending the teacher, because he did admit, like, it was kind of peer pressured for him to admit it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at least how it's shown in the movie.
Yeah.
Like, the child in question was bullying another student in the class, and he wanted to show him, like, he slapped him on the face a little bit and was like, doesn't this hurt?
Yeah.
Like, it's hurting the other kid more.
Yeah.
So he admitted to that. But I don't know about the real life.
Yeah, I didn't see any
Assuming
details
it's the
about like
same.
what the teacher also personally admitted to. But just given my experience working in public school, and this is...
Don't they smack kids on the head sometimes?
Yeah, and this was like 2017 when I was working there. And just when you compare it to what is normal behavior as teacher to student in the US, you're not allowed to touch kids at all, obviously. No. But I mean, even
you can't even hug them. Or
hug, you have to ask them, or tap on the shoulder, even if it's meant for like a good job kind of gesture or anything like that. And so when I first came to Japan working in a school, just to see how it's the male teachers who do this more, being like, pay attention, bam, doing a light smack on the head, or using a stack of papers to be like, oi, you know, and do that. And that was normal to them in 2017. It's pretty believable that this teacher in 2003 also did similar things. Yeah. I'm not allegedly, you know, like I don't know what he did as a fact, but if he is saying like he did in the movie, yeah, I was just showing a child how hitting someone could hurt, and then he did a tap on his cheek. Yeah, I don't doubt that he would actually do that to the kid, you know?
Yeah.
And so...
that makes sense.
It wasn't, like, super surprising to me that he would fess up to some form of physical punishment, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, of course, to an elementary school kid, the kid's in 4th grade, that's scary.
Yeah. And, you know, and so kids also probably just saw that, and, I mean, they kind of depicted in the movie to not blow it out of proportion, but it's a lot higher of a degree of like punishment to them versus maybe to us.
Yeah.
We're just like, hey, you know, but that could hurt them even more.
Yes.
But yeah, the case, it's often cited in Japan in discussions about education and media sensationalism and these monster parent controversies. The case is often cited in Japan in discussions about education, media sensationalism, and monster parent controversies, where parental complaints sometimes escalate into public scandals and institutions overreact under pressure.
Yeah. So you see this in the movie, but the media coverage is crazy. Like they doxed this guy immediately, and there were, you know, people, just not even reporters and stuff, but like random people putting like insulting like posters and stuff on his house.
On his house, it was saying, you know, like, die, or you're a murderous teacher. A lot of it said Satsujin Kyoshi, which was the whole theme of the article, right? Murder teacher. And considering the teacher was found innocent, or they didn't find any evidence to prove that form of physical punishment, it's just so sad. And you see it in the movie too. At first you're kind of like, which do I believe? Because they show both sides of the story.
Yeah, the way the movie starts, it's like showing
it's insane.
The abuse.
Yeah. And it's
that's difficult to watch.
It's really difficult to watch. It's really dark. So just, I don't know, trigger warning, heads up if you ever do decide to watch this movie.
It's not the whole movie.
No, it's the first like 15 minutes, I believe. But just the way his bullying and abuse towards that student was depicted in the words of the mother is really horrifying.
Really
and
intense.
if it were to be true, it's just so sad, so intense to see. And me watching it as a parent, and like maybe the whole maternal grandfather thing being American just hit me even harder because technically, even though my child is Asian passing, she is still half, American at the end of the day.
Asian passing.
She's Asian. Not Asian passing, sorry. Japanese passing. Like, she's not going to look like a hafu who is half, white and Japanese. My daughter just looks full Asian at that point, So I understand she's going to be treated differently in that regard, I'm sure, when it comes to physical appearance. But just thinking about how if there were ever to be a student or a teacher or someone using the fact that one of their relatives, aka me, was American, and then just calling her blood dirty. Like he says, chiga kegareteru, which is like tainted and filthy. Tainted, and so it was just really hard for me to watch those first 15 minutes of the movie. Yeah. How did you like the movie overall? I mean, knowing more about this case and watching the movie, I thought it followed it almost.
Yeah, I'm surprised that when we were reading the actual details of the case, like that was the movie.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it was a very interesting watch. In the movie, though, they go into they kind of tease the background of the mother.
They want you to feel like bad for her just a little bit. Yeah.
But then they never reveal the actual details of her past. So you're like, what the heck? Why did you even show that?
I think for entertainment purposes, right? They want you to feel just a little bit of empathy for the mother in that case. Maybe she had a reason why she went so hard for, her child and everything. Spoiler alert. I don't know. We just detailed the whole case anyway. But when I was researching the actual case, I couldn't find anything about the parents and the mother specifically. I couldn't even find her name, So I understand they probably wanted to give you some sense of realness to her, but they couldn't disclose much because then that's just making up her entire side.
That'd be another decchiage.
That's another decchiage. Yeah, exactly. So I enjoyed the movie for entertainment purposes, but did you just hear that huge click I made with my mouth? Yeah. I enjoyed the movie for that and entertainment purposes, but yeah, it's just heavy.
Yeah. It's hard to say because we were not there to witness it, so maybe there is truth on both sides. Who knows? But yeah, you also see that kind of the witch hunt dynamics because immediately people are all over him and threatening him.
Yeah,
and
going
stuff.
to his house, trashing his place.
And I was really surprised to see that Asahi Shimbun was one of the publications reporting on that because don't you fact check before you publish stuff? You're one of the top publications here.
I don't know, maybe they didn't 23 years ago.
Yeah, because the way in the movie, I assumed it was a gossip magazine or something.
That's kind of what I thought too. Yeah. That's how they portrayed it. Yeah. What's kind of wild to me. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
That was just surprising to me to see that it was them.
Yeah.
One of them.
What was kind of I don't know, put me in that perspective, put me in the shoes of that character too. So this real case took place in 2003. I know you're a couple years older than me, but I was, what is the student in 4th grade in the victim? I was in 4th grade in 2003, or maybe in 3rd grade, but so it could have been me. Yeah, but I don't know, just a wild case overall. Something I never would have known about that happened in Japan, because it's so before our time, not being alive, but just during our time in Japan, you know?
And knowing about current events.
Yeah, so just hearing that this kind of thing happened was very, very interesting to me. Also, it being the first case that the Fukuoka Board of Education recognized as teacher bullying. Nationwide. In 2003? That's so late. Yeah. Better late than never, I guess. But
yeah, I mean, again, we don't know the full story, but it is upsetting that this is so well known because it kind of takes credibility away from cases where it is true, severe bullying from the teacher. Because I mean, I Googled teacher bullying case and so many things popped up, which could be an entire episode in itself, another episode idea.
Yeah, because we did do bad teachers, but they were kind of silly little things like he showed up drunk to work or something, right?
Well, some of them are more serious. He flashed someone at Disney.
That's right. Yeah. So that could be a interesting topic to get into for the future.
Yeah,
But
that will be heavy, but interesting. But yeah, any kind of false accusation is really upsetting because it discredits real victims
exactly.
in any type of crime, not just bullying, but yeah, anything.
Yeah, but as we discussed, this whole case kind of brought out the topic of monster parents and just...
Yeah, because when you first told me you wanted to do this topic, you were
Yeah.
like, oh, the teacher bullying case, whatever.
Yeah.
And the episode is about monster parents. I was like, that's two topics. What are you talking about?
Well, when I first watched the movie, because I had to watch it like over a span of a few days because babies...
That first part put you off?
Well, not so much. I was watching it, but it's just not to go into I have a baby talk, but like I swear babies just know when you're like relaxing, because every time we got maybe 10 minutes into the movie, she started to cry because we put her to bed and then my husband and I want to watch a movie. And so it took us, I don't know, like 4 days to finish this movie because we had to watch it in small increments because she kept waking up. Anyway, so when I first messaged Frankie about, I want to do this case and I want to talk about it, it's about a teacher bullying case. It's because I was only like the first, 20 minutes into the movie. So I thought it was, about the teacher being the bully was the whole movie. And so the next time when I messaged you about it saying it was monster parents or something, I understand that could have been misleading, but that's because I was further into the movie by that point. So the general topic is monster parents inspired by this case.
Okay.
Yeah.
It makes sense now.
Yes, it's all coming to me now.
But I do want to talk about bully teachers.
Oh, yes, of course. But on the topic of monster parents, actually, coincidentally, a recent article was published about monster parents in Japan Today. It's a bit long, so I was just going to summarize it. But basically, monster parents are they're running rampant here in Japan is the main gist of it. Even from 2003, nothing has really... I don't want to say nothing's changed, but monster parenting has still existed even today. And we'll link the article, but basically one teacher...
Can I say the title?
Oh, yes, please.
Okay. The title is Monster Parents Drive Japan Teachers to Breaking Point.
Yeah, so it's very intense. But one of the cases the article mentions is a parent contacting a teacher about why their child isn't on the sports team or something, and they're getting really upset about that. And first of all, the teacher is saying, well, first, I didn't give you my phone number, so how are you calling me? And then he's thinking about it, and he comes to the conclusion that he had to contact another parent about something else. And I think that parent he contacted saved his number and then passed it along to other parents without his consent. They put it in the group chat, and so now they're all calling him. And so his personal phone number was passed around without his consent. And so now he's just receiving all these threatening calls from parents about, I don't know, their kids' issues and not being on the sports team or whatever. So it's already breaking, I think, a personal boundary with him. It's not, I don't want to say not his job, but it's a lot, to receive phone calls outside of your working hours about kids, and their bukatsu, their after school clubs and all of that.
Yeah. But I think there is, it's very different from the US. The teachers have a lot of responsibility over the students. For example, if the child gets in trouble with the police or something, if they're in some kind of troublesome situation, they often call the homeroom teacher.
Yeah. So the tannin sensei, which was also that sensei, the teacher in this case, tannin is a homeroom teacher. And so if you're a tannin sensei, you're basically the second parent to these children. And I saw it a lot. Yes, in elementary school, but it's the most in middle school, I feel like. And a lot of your, I guess, what do you call the student's behavior falls on the teacher and not the parent. And so if a child is disruptive or whatever, they're going to blame it on the teacher, unfortunately, in most cases. And one thing, if you do watch this movie and you're unfamiliar with teaching in Japan or just Japanese culture in general, schools have a period every year called katei homon. And so they'll take maybe a month or a few weeks out of the semester to make home visits to each student. And so that's what this movie is kind of highlighting. So if you're wondering why he's going, So if you're wondering why he's in the student's home in the first place and why they're in that kind of environment, it's just something that homeroom teachers have to do here in Japan to check in on the students' like home situation, overall well-being, it's like a parent-teacher conference, but at to home. An extreme at home. Yeah. And so they'll go to each student's house and just talk to the parent about what the kid has been up to. And it takes...
That sounds really stressful.
It's stressful because they have to, they're a teacher. So let's say 8 to 3 is their whole day teaching. And then from the afternoon, they spent just going from house to house. And so that's why it was like in the afternoon, late at night, the mom called him. And he said he rescheduled it. And she said, well, I can't do that. So come right now. And it was like 10 p.m. or something she held them until. And you can't leave, it's just bad manners to do that. And so, that was kind of that's some cultural context for you guys. But anyway, to go back to this article, like Frankie said in the title, they're pushing teachers to a breaking point. However, I did want to mention that the article says Tokyo enacted a customer harassment prevention ordinance last April, declaring that no person shall engage in such conduct in any setting, including schools. The draft guidelines list examples that may constitute harassment, including demanding excessive apologies, making unreasonable demands regarding teacher transfers or reassignments, filming on school premises without permission, and prolonged lingering or phone calls that disrupt work. So I hope it gets better for them.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it would be good to have more boundaries with the teachers. But also, that kind of makes me worry. Like, what if there is really an actual issue? Is this going to prevent that from the necessary measures getting taken?
For example, if a student was actually getting abused and a mother was trying to do something about it and they're like, nope, you're not following the guidelines like that. Yeah,
there's always like good and bad points to everything.
Yeah. I hope nobody slips through the cracks of this new, what is it called, ordinance, but we'll see.
Okay.
But I did ask on Instagram if any of my teacher friends have experienced monster parents before, and either no one has or no one wants to talk about it because I received no replies.
I feel like for the foreign teachers, it might be less.
Because, maybe you're not in the loop.
Japanese people that were a homeroom teacher.
Well, I do.
Oh, you do?
Then again, I didn't really... I don't know. Maybe it's not their place to mention it. I don't know if it'll dox anyone either, but
okay.
I don't know. Or best case scenario, no one has actually dealt with monster parents, right?
Hopefully.
Yeah. So you? Me, never a monster parent, calling me personally or bringing up issues to me. But I have been on a PTA sports team when I was a teacher at a school, and it's not so much monster parenting. I've just seen that some of the parents can be a little gossipy when it comes to other people's children or their parents. And so it doesn't surprise me if there's like a monster parent in that school, that I worked at, but gossip's different than actual harassment. So I'm not really going to say I have experienced that. But since I didn't get any replies, I went on Old Faithful. Well, first I went on Reddit. And I realized even if you search in Japanese, not a lot of Japanese people use Reddit the way we use Reddit, no? So do you know what is the Japanese like equivalent to Reddit actually?
Well, you've mentioned it before.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I can see it in the notes, but also I knew Chiebukuro is
So I went on Chiebukuro just to see if there was anyone who posted about experiencing monster parents. And although the post is quite old, a story is a story. So I've pulled up some interesting ones I found, and I've translated them from the original post. Would you like to read the first one?
Alrighty. I'm currently in high school, but this happened when I was in middle school. It was after club activities had ended and we'd finished cleaning up. I went to return the key to the staff room. Right inside the staff room, in front of the club advisor's desk, there was a woman making a scene. She was saying, "Why does my kid have to pick up balls? There are other people here, aren't there?" The woman's son was a close junior of mine, so I often talked with him too. He'd only been in the club for a month, a complete beginner. He seemed to have good potential, but just after a month, The focus was still on basics and picking up balls. I watched for a while, but it was so one-sided that I felt sorry for the advisor. I wish parents would refrain from making such self-centered remarks about their own children.
Yeah. And this is a student talking about a parent, so that's crazy. Yeah. If you're unfamiliar with like sports clubs in Japan, no matter your skill set, it's very based on seniority from what I've seen too. And so there's first, second year, and third year in high school here. And like the person said, even though he had some potential, because he was a first year, he was just resorted as like the cleanup person. So
it's a rite of passage.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Okay. All right. This is all one submission from the same person, just different stories. So we can go back and forth about them. They said, I once heard from a local elementary school principal about a parent who claimed public school teachers were untrustworthy. For all 6 years of elementary school, this parent accompanied their child to school and continuously monitored teachers from the hallway. Yeah.
Helicopter.
Intense. Yeah.
Another time, a colleague at the cram school made a mistake with the character for disperse in the disperse sound rule.
Yeah. We'll include the kanji here too. They basically made a kanji mistake. Yeah. When explaining kanji, they said the wrong like onyomi versus kunyomi or something. Yeah.
Okay. Immediately, a complaint call went to headquarters, and the parent kept demanding, get rid of them. I was a rookie back then, so I often observed that colleague's classes, but there was nothing wrong with the content.
Similarly, when I worked at a cram school, I once called the home of a student who consistently refused to do homework. The parent snapped, if you want them to do it at home, you come over and teach them yourself. Just like the previous case, a complaint was lodged with headquarters. All right.
Okay. The last one from the same person. Another time, I called the home of a student who had started cycling to school without permission. The parent stormed into the school demanding, why do teachers drive while students walk? Don't treat us like fools, and lectured the principal. This is also from my own experience. I could go on and on.
Yeah, this person has seen it all, man. Yeah, so another cultural context. I guess you need permission to bike to school because it depends on how far away you live from school. And I think this is like a good thing about Japan. You need to, I think, inform the school the route in which you take to school and all of that. And so I think that's why, if you're wondering like why did they need permission or whatever, that's the cultural context behind that. Okay. Yeah. All right. The last story I saw from Chiebukuro. I heard this story from a friend who volunteers at an elementary school. My friend was in the staff room during recess when suddenly the teacher started closing the curtains. Apparently, several times a day at that school, parents come in with binoculars to peek into the staff room and make incomprehensible complaints like, don't drink tea in the staff room. Apparently, it's the same person every day, but I don't think they should be told off by someone who has the free time to come and watch multiple times a day. I call these kinds of people monster parents. Yes, I would call them that too.
Ooh, a lot of free time.
Yeah. So those are the only, like, I don't know, personal stories I could find on the internet. Yeah. I think a lot of teachers are just afraid to dox themselves.
With their binoculars.
Days. With the binoculars is crazy. Also, peeping in and being like, don't drink tea.
In the staff room? Peeking into the staff room?
So much free time on their hands, yeah.
This doesn't have to do with monster parents, but at the last school that I worked at, I was a preschool teacher, but the same school also had eikaiwa classes offered in the afternoon and on the weekends, which I did not teach. I didn't want to do that. But for those eikaiwa classes, the windows are very open. So some parents would stand there and watch the whole lesson. Yeah. Which, I mean, okay, you want to see a little bit, but that puts a lot of pressure on both the students and the teachers. Like, neither is going to act normally when they know they're being watched like that.
Oh, yeah. Especially, like, I think it's not the school or the teacher's fault for doing this. I think this is just an old school thing that happens in the education system here in Japan. But there's also a lot of days, especially when it's like for kindergarten or the first day of elementary school, which starts at first grade here. It's called like a parents' day or an observation day. And so your parents come and they look at your artwork around the school and then they, they're all standing at the back of the class and they're watching the kids because they want to take like videos or whatever. And it's it's supposed to be a cute moment. But I feel like that opens the door a little bit for parents being like, okay, well, I can come in and look. It's not every day of the year they're allowed to do that, but it's just like it's not uncommon, I think, for parents to want to observe kids here. But
but it should be kind of organized.
Yeah. Because for those days, I notice as someone who has had to work on those days, it's also just very performative. Like you said, everyone's going to be acting different. The teacher's going to be, on their A game, and then the students are going to probably have some kind of, not a script they have to rehearse, but they're going to be like, okay, this is my presentation. I need to do my best for it. And so it's just, I don't know. Sometimes parents can make children a little nervous as someone who's been teaching. So yeah, I agree with you on that.
Yeah. Okay. So just the last thing. So I haven't really experienced the monster parent, but there's a movie and a book that we have both read and watched recently called Confessions.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's good.
That's also quite a heavy one.
That's a heavy one. That one is fiction, by the way.
It is fiction.
Yeah.
It's very good.
Yeah.
This is not necessarily a spoiler because it's the whole premise of the story, but there's a middle school teacher and she has a 4-year-old daughter who passes away at an accident at the school, and she doesn't even suspect, like she knows for certain that 2 of the students in her homeroom class are responsible for the death of her daughter. So this is her trying to get them to admit it and get her revenge. But there's a monster parent in that one.
There is a monster parent in that one. It's just very
it's not the teacher.
I mean, even though it is a work of fiction, it's interesting to see that this concept is very, I don't know, well known in Japan. And so if you want to see an extreme case of monster parent in Japan, then that's another, I don't want to say fun movie to watch, but entertaining. Very dark.
Very dark, but really good.
Really good. And you said you read the book too?
Yeah, I read the book first.
Yeah.
And then you told me the movie follows the book almost exactly. So I was like, ooh.
It was so good.
And then I watched it with Rosa, but also my husband was sitting at the dining room table while we were watching. Like, I asked him, do you want to watch this movie? And he was like, oh, no, I have stuff to do. But as it was playing, he just couldn't stop watching. It was so good.
It's a good movie. It's quite, I don't want to say old, but it's from 2006 or 2007, and it's starring Matsu Takako. She's a very famous Japanese actress here in Japan. The voice of Elsa in the Japanese dub of Frozen, actually.
Oh. She sings?
Yeah, she's a really good singer. She's a great actress. I like her a lot. So it's really fun to see her in such a serious role. She plays the homeroom teacher in that case. And someone who was teaching junior high schoolers in Japan too, and just seeing that classroom, it kind of hit me in both ways because they're kids, and as someone who likes kids and enjoys teaching kids, you're kind of, I mean, they're minors, right? So you're kind of like, oh my God, how could you do this to someone? But also as a parent now, I'm kind of like, yeah, I would do anything to avenge my own child probably, because the way she's playing the long game too, and so it's, what would you call it, a psychological thriller? Yeah. Very good movie. Please watch it.
Excellent. Read or watch it or both.
Yeah. And that same author, who is that?
Minato?
Kanai Minato. So she was actually a housewife, I think, and she wrote books in her free time or something. And Confession is her first book, her first published book, I believe. And then she also wrote a book called Penance.
I bought it. I haven't read it yet.
It's really good. And it's
over there on the shelf.
It's on the same theme of psychological thriller. However, it is a bit darker because they involve for me because they involve elementary schoolers, and there's some instances of essay in there, so it's just a little hard to read because they're so young in that one, but also a lot of themes of revenge and just playing the long game over time and everything. And so I like to ask this question a lot to people who've read both books, Confessions and Penance, which one they like better.
Okay.
And
I'll get back to you.
Get back to me. That is your homework. And then for extra credit, you can also watch the series Penance. But it's not as good as the movie. They don't really follow the book that well, actually. So if you want. But anyway.
All right.
That's kind of all I had for us today. Just talking about monster parents. Yeah. Thank you so much for listening and watching. Anything else you want to add?
No.
All right. Stay safe out there from those monster parents, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll be one in the next 10 years. Right, just kidding. But that's all we have. All right. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.